Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you another video. All right, so as I said, man, my last video, I think it was just meant for me to say only those particular things and not just keep it running the whole time. That was a really special video. I encourage everybody to go check out BDF Therapy Session 417, man. It's uploading now, of course, but by the time you see this, I'm pretty sure it'll be long uploaded by then. But you know, just pray to the Lord, like, do you want me to make a phone call? Like, you know, is it best for me to make a phone call? Try to contact my uncle to see if he can, you know, slide me whatever bread would be otherwise necessary, take care of what's in front of me. And I didn't get that condition, that feeling that I should call right now. And I got a lot of it. You know, a lot of what it is I need is in my possession. Most of the time when I'm in this situation, I don't have but a couple dollars and I need them to afford me everything. But really, I'm just down about $100 right now. And so I will need it, but it's one of those situations where I'm just following the Spirit completely, man. The closer I get to God, the closer I know it's not just about making the right move. It's about doing it the right time and the right way. And so if you follow the Spirit, you check him with the Lord, he tells you when to do it. Not that you need to do it. You already know what will need to be done, but when you need to do it is going to determine how well things get executed outside of your control. If a person can answer the phone, you know, like those type of things. You trust the Lord strong enough, you get close enough to that Holy Spirit, it'll basically be a psychic in your life. Truth be told, it'll basically be a psychic in your life, you know. So that's what I'm trusting now, is that Holy Spirit is like, yo, you control all things, I'm connected to you, I'm aligned with you, I want to do what you want me to do. Obviously I've been going through some difficulties, let the enemy attack me throughout the course of this week, and now that we're nearing the end of the week, I want to take my strength back. And so this is how you communicate with that God, and you say, God, what do you want me to do now? I've already done what the enemy would otherwise want me to do, and it gave me the consequences and results that come with that. I don't like those, but what I do like is for you to tell me what would be right for me right now. And so that's what it is. Basically, the energy was to turn off that particular video and start a new one right here. And then from there, whatever comes out, comes out. So I stay aligned, man. I tell you, I felt the spirit of my father when I left the house. My dad was... I just felt this vibe. I couldn't even explain it to you. I just felt it. When I was thinking about how much I had and what I needed to take care of what's ahead of me. And then I was thinking about, you know, going out here and then going to where I'm headed right now and just kind of see what happens from there. And I got the spirit that the energy that my father was with me, you know, and so just wanted to document that. It wasn't something that lingered. It wasn't something too heavy, but it was just a passing through, like, yeah, he's here, he's with you. And so I don't know how much, you know, my father watches over me. Obviously, that's not very obvious to all of y'all, but to me, he has so many other people to watch over. We have such a massive family. And he has so many kids from his division of that family. So many grandkids and great-grandkids. And, you know, it's just one of those situations where you just don't know what the Lord allows for spirits to do in regards to watching over you specifically. But there's a long time ago. When I say a long time ago, like right around when he passed away, or maybe a little after that, it was an energy that came to me that said that he stands on guard with me at all times. That your father is now one of your fiercest guardian angels, on guard at all times. And I was like, and I'm getting chills when I'm saying that. And I remember my mother told me that my father, when I was born, he cried in the delivery room. He watched me being born, he cried, and he told my mother that I was special and that I had something to say. Something to say. And I didn't know my dad that well in life. I really didn't. I mean, I knew him well enough to know him, like, hung out with him and the family, but like usually when he come pick me up as a kid, I'm hanging out with my siblings. You know, we were all kids together, and dad would just gotta be dad, you know what I mean? Take us where we're going, make breakfast in the morning. You know, I spent some time with my dad one-on-one when we would drive either up there by ourselves, which was a nice long drive a lot of the time, so that was really cool. Go from Hollywood to either Bakersfield with him sometimes, Hollywood to, you know, Big Bear where he lived. So it was a lot of times we'd be in a car together, and we had some good one-on-ones, you know what I mean? Some really good one-on-ones growing up. So it wasn't like I didn't get acquainted with him enough to love the man very much, because I did. But to say I was close to him as I am to some of the other people in my life that's been close, nah, I didn't call him. And a lot of times my anxiety didn't allow for me to call my dad, you know. It was just like, I'm used to him not being around. So my mom, he would call to talk to my mother because they were good friends, but a lot of times we wouldn't talk to one another at all. But it wasn't like an awkward thing. It was just like normal for our personalities, both of us, I guess. But when he passed away, it was like the Lord was trying to help me understand, like the Lord assigned my dad to me, that kind of thing, for the specifics of what it is I'm doing in my life and what it is he wants me to do. It's like that is one of your fiercest and ferocious guardian angels. And he will, and anytime you get an attack, you best believe he's swinging back. That type of energy. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I don't know, you know, I just ran with that. It gave me comfort because obviously my father wasn't as close to me in life, so I didn't really get a chance to see him in that light. But I know he was a naval officer, you know what I mean? This is somebody who served. And so I know of him to be a soldier. And a lot of his, you know, some of his seeds are soldiers too. My little brother, Vernon, Marine, 3 tours, you know what I mean? And my nephew, Garrett, Army police, I believe. I don't know exactly what his role was, but he was in Germany for a while. And so my father's military background is extensive with myself, with my family, rather, not myself. But that's what it was. It was like we were, you know, I could have been a military man many times over based on all the military people in my life. Many times over. That's basically in my blood on both sides. With my grandfather, both of my grandfathers, to be honest. Not just my grandfather on my mom's side, but my dad's dad was also a fighter pilot who did a lot of great things, you know, a lot of great things in the war that I found out about in his at his funeral. He, of course, what I've learned is soldiers don't really like to talk about what they do in the wars because it's like unnecessary flex maybe, or disrespectful to those who were lost, that kind of thing. But my grandfather, my dad's dad, that was a cold fighter pilot. Cold. You know, that kind of thing, like special, gifted at what he did, that type of thing. Ridiculous type stats. And it's like, you know, that's the stock I come from, man. My other grandfather, my mom's side, grandfather's lieutenant colonel, the one who's still with me to this day, lieutenant colonel. My uncle, the one who helps me, colonel, retired, but you know, that's the rank they got to. So like the way they served in this country and the way that they had to defend their country respectively, though different in nature from each of them, was very extensive, man. We served this country, man. My family served this country a lot, and the money that I benefit from, I believe, is likely money that they earned from those circumstances. You know, my little brother, you know, I'm very fortunate that he survived his 3 tours. You know, and I know he also had to endure in those tours. It wasn't just him sitting around making food. No, not at all. Vernon had to live out there and survive out there and serve out there in some ways that I know he will not be able to shake off in this life. And so it's one of those situations where I'm humbled by the understanding that you know, I come from a long stock of people who fought, and I'm not one of them in that way. I am not. I was a civilian, stayed a civilian, and now I'm too old to serve. You know, I probably could actually do like something, you know, not necessarily the Army, but like the reserve, whatever they call that, the Coast Guard or something. I could probably still do that based on the fact that I'm just on the edge of 30 and in fantastic shape, I think. But I have no interest in doing that. That's not my thing. I'm not that type of protector, man. That's not me. That skipped me. And it's a damn good chance if I have some kids, they're gonna probably serve. Damn good chance if they don't, my grandkids will probably serve. Because this is just a long line of people who did. But you know, I was close. I probably already told y'all this, but I went to the school, not school, what do they call it? I took the test to be a Marine the written test, whatever they call that, and went down to their recruiting station, and I was serious about it. But I think it just came down to me talking to a couple of my friends, particularly T, and he just kind of talked me out of it. And it wasn't me. It really wasn't. I didn't quite know myself, but that was definitely not me. With the anxiety issues I had, with the creativity and the artistry that I am, I'm more of a civilian for real when it comes to artists and stuff. Like, I'm an artist, so I don't know how good I would have did out there shooting off guns and flying planes and, you know, popping off bombs and stuff. I don't think that's who I am, man. I try to be a security guard, but that don't equate in my mind at all. Not at all. I put on a uniform, but it ain't. I did some training, but it ain't that, man. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. So at this point, I just look at the situation and I say, man, I'm fortunate to come from a long line of stock of people who served in this country. Although a lot of what it is that they probably had to do, I probably would not agree with. And now that I'm seeing how this country is moving, now that I know how we got the power we got, some of that stuff they probably did was not of God to help uphold that whole agenda. Probably wasn't. But they did the best they could, man, and they served God in the process of what it is they were trying to do. And, you know, that's something I can be proud of. Very much proud of, man. So I just want to take time to tell people that, man. A lot of people come from a lot of different things, man. I happen to come from a bunch of military dudes and people who served. And my mother was a police officer for 2 years in Oakland. You know, it's protectors, man. People who weren't afraid to get their hands dirty. People weren't afraid of dangerous circumstances. People weren't afraid to be in pressure circumstances where they had to be responsible for much and many. You know, that's what I'm from. And so I just understand that the way I think, what comes naturally to me sometimes, I think it comes from them in that walk of life and what actually could otherwise be natural to me if I were to just jump into those circumstances. You know, if I would have went on to be a Marine, who knows where my life would be. I certainly wouldn't be in this situation. I wouldn't be broke because they would have took care of a lot of that. You know, with the various different things that come to military people. But even then, we look around, we can see so many people homeless in the military. I don't know how many of these people are still around from when I was a kid, but when I was a kid, half the homeless people we saw were military. Like, that was the majority of what you saw back then. If they weren't crackheads, they were ex-military from Nam or something like that. A lot of those people, I'm sure, probably passed on, but that's what it was in the 90s, 80s. You see these dudes, they missing legs and stuff like that. You know they was in the war. They still got on they fatigues and stuff like that in some cases, but just homeless as hell. And it's like, what happened to them? How come they didn't get the, you know, how come they are not in a position to have been taken care of by their country? And so I think, I don't know this, you probably know better than me, but I think we've gotten better at that over the years. They got a lot of more places for these people to have gone, veteran hospitals and stuff like that. I just think they do a much better job of taking care of those people now, probably. If you do not believe in yourself, no one will do it for you. Bean. That's right, Bean. Better know it. You better know it. R.I.P. to the great. I'm walking around with LeBron on my shirt today, though, man. But anyway, it's one of them situations where I just wanted to say that, man. I didn't want to get into a whole conversation about the Lakers. I just want to stop and see that. But, you know, I'm very, very hopeful that we've gotten to a space where we are taking care of our military in this country more so, especially since we're finding out how treacherous a lot of what it is they're being forced to do actually is. A lot of us kind of knew it was treacherous, but now we're starting to see how treacherous it is based on what's going on in the world right now. Like, they really threw a lot of our soldiers' souls away, man, by asking them to do just awful things. Just flat out awful things. A lot of them wars that they told us they were fighting terrorists, they weren't fighting terrorists. They were not fighting terrorists. And I've talked to people over the years who have told me that they started They went to the military. Maybe their first tour was solid. And then as they went on into more of what it is they were being asked to do, they started finding out that a lot of this stuff that we're knowing and finding out right now, it's like, oh man, we're not doing nothing real. We're doing some bull crap over here. Yo, we being asked to do awful things. And so that's conversations I've had too, man. Like I said, we're just throwing some of our soldiers' souls away. They come in with good intentions and they walk out of there having been monsters by force, you know? And I just wonder how many of them want to redeem themselves in circumstances like what we're seeing today. How many people would be willing to put their lives on the line after serving to undo some of that? If they weren't lobotomized to half hell, you know what I mean? Trained in such a way that it hypnotized them into thinking this stuff is right. When you see what we're seeing in Gaza right now, I can imagine there's mercenaries from all over the world that want to come in there and try to save some of them children. I would imagine, especially some of the ones who were forced to do awful stuff that they can't halfway sleep at night. It's like, man, if I was like that, I would already want to be. If I'm not already there, I would want to be there. If I didn't have a family of my own, with the spirit that I got, I want to gather as many people like me to go to places like that and try to sneak them people out of there. Or at least combat some of them forces. The ones on the ground. You know? That's where my head would be if I had my right mind and the right training and the right, you know, experiences, I guess is what would be the word. And not everybody has that. We got the brave heart but no training. What the heck we gonna do but be another person slain? Ain't nothing good. Ain't nothing good coming out of that. But to know what you're doing, like my little brother who would know what he would be doing if he would go in something like that, he'd know exactly how to give himself the best opportunity to survive and save others. I would want that. Now I know my little brother got a little girl, so that ain't where his head is, and that's his big brother. I'm very happy it ain't, to be completely honest. Selfishly speaking, I don't want my brother doing stuff like that. But that's just the point. Like if I were me, in my circumstance with no kids, no wife, yeah, I want to go over there and fix this, or at least try to provide some resistance so that whatever it is they doing, they got to deal with me too. Because this is awful stuff we're seeing, man. Awful stuff we're seeing. And it ain't getting no better. They did more bombing last night. They're bombing refugee camps left and right. You know, it's just getting to a point where it's like, man, there ain't no solution to this. But people who are properly trained and properly equipped doing something on their own away from their government. All over the world. But you best believe your government ain't gonna want you to do nothing like that. They not. But just going completely rogue for the betterment of what others need, and then you just throw your whole life away. Because that's basically exactly what's gonna happen. It's sad, but it's true, man. They want you to sit there and watch this stuff for the betterment of the big plans that they have. Well, big plans just wipe people away and then do good whatever with the land. But those big plans, those kids don't deserve to be slaughtered so those big plans can happen, man. That's what I have to say to you. I don't give a damn about your big plans if you're annihilating our future leaders, our future doctors, our future clergymen, future mothers and fathers, people who have a long lineage of great people who are supposed to come after them. You cutting them off as babies, not giving a damn about whether or not the good that's supposed to come from them ever happens. It's like, nah, I don't like that, man. I don't agree with that in no way, shape, or form. I think that your big plans for your pipeline or whatever the hell you trying to do, get your gas, compete with Iran or whoever the hell you trying to compete with, that ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it. At the end of the day, what is worth it is seeing the fruit in human beings and how they can come up with much greater plans just from being educated properly and aligned with the spirit of God. And you know, given the right resources to survive and have a proper education. A lot of the babies that they're killing are probably scholars, bro. Like great scholars. You know what I mean? So that their little feeble minds can move about with the plans that they have, that they want to be attached to for all time. And we're going to move forward. Like that baby you killed got a better solution than this bullcrap you got going on. But you don't give a damn because you ain't thinking past your ass, because the devil in you gonna make sure you don't. You done killed the very doctor that's gonna save your life 35 years from now. Idiot. Cut him down, cut his mama down, his uncle down. I saw a photo of an entire family. It's like 8 of them in a delivery room. One of them was a little baby at 1 year old in somebody's arm. All wiped out. All wiped out. Rest in peace to the whole damn picture. It's like 8 people. That's what they're doing so that they can move forward with their plans. But what if somebody would have did that to them when they was babies? Did any of these people ever even consider the fact that they were also people who were babies that came out of wombs at some point? And now that, you know, you have an opportunity to grow up, you get a chance to do all this evil shit you're doing. It never occurred to you that that's probably could have happened to you? And then maybe because it didn't, you owe it to somebody else to simply not do it to them? Well, that ain't occurred to any of these people. As they moving forward with their plans. But that's a thought that comes from a good heart. That ain't a thought that's coming from an evil man. And ain't nobody good doing nothing like that. But that's what they cutting down. People who had solutions for the problems that they gonna have tomorrow. Problems that they welcome in their life from the karma from what it is that they doing. Some of these leaders, they gonna die horrible deaths. It ain't even gonna be no slaughter. It's gonna be some horrible flesh-eating virus, some cancer or something. Like, watch. You gonna see. Some of these people will think we getting away with it. No, you're not. Your body gonna eat you from the inside out and then you're going to hell. We may not see it in the way that we're supposed to see it, but trust me, you're gonna suffer, for real. All these people who are indifferent to the suffering of what's going on over there, they're gonna die horrible deaths. Watch what I say. That's how God can get back at you. See, a lot of times the way we want to see get back is the same thing that happened to them, to the people that they did this to, happen to them. But nah. That ain't how God do it. Flesh-eating viruses, blood cancer, blind, can't control their bowels. He gonna do all kind of weird stuff to these people that did this to these people. Watch. Because it's not about satisfying our need to see get back. It's about putting them through what the Lord intends for them to go through, which is going to be a lot worse than that. Ain't nobody going to be around when they die. Ain't nobody going to be praying for them. Ain't going to be no clergy people around them. All their kids going to die before they do. All that type of stuff because of what they did to these people. You see. This is how God works. He don't work how we want him to work in the way that we want him to work, but he's effective and efficient. You watch the karma that comes down on these people that have been wiping away these kids. People that don't want to provide any ceasefire support. People who don't care about nothing but their pipeline, their gas, and their minerals and all this other stuff they want to steal from these lands. People who want to follow something in a book that tells them to slaughter people to get back with them. Otherwise, probably shouldn't be coming to their ass anyway. You watch how they go. You watch what it is they go through after this. Probably while nobody's looking, too. Because that's exactly how God operates. While nobody's looking, they're going to be suffering. So I've reached my destination. Of course, I'm headed to the Staples Center. I'm going to do probably a Laker video there. Probably not a therapy session. But that's what's on my heart, man. Just be patient with the Lord when it comes to stuff like this. It may not be in a way that you would approve of. But believe me, people who do what they do get what's coming to them. There ain't no ifs, ands, and maybe about it. It's a matter of when and how. You may not even know about it. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.